Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. In today's tutorial I wanted to show you guys how you can create custom testimonials on your WordPress website where you're able to add the testimonials for all your clients and you can have them showcased on the front end of your website. I'm going to show you guys not only how to create the testimonials custom content type, but also how to create the card style and how to make it completely dynamic to where you only make this one time and it just continues to add on the specific page that you want it to show on. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do this step by step. So let's go ahead and hop right into the tutorial. So once you're on the WordPress dashboard, again, you're going to need this third-party tool. And for the tool, I'm going to be using crocoblock. I personally use crocoblock because I like it. And the whole entire suite of tools are just freaking amazing for everything when it comes to WordPress building. However, you can use other tools like ACF or any other tool out there that allows you to create a custom content type, or if you may know it as a custom post type to your WordPress website. Once you have crocoblock already installed and activated, go ahead and click on the update and installation. Now it's going to bring you to this page where it's going to show you all of the different Jet plugins that comes with your crocoblock license. So whatever license that you do choose to get, then it will show the plugins that comes with that license right here. For me, I got the entire suite, which I highly recommend you guys do as well. So if you do want to check out crocoblock for yourself, I do have a link down below in the description box. As it does help out my channel and I earn a small commission, it will not affect your price when you purchase crocoblock for yourself at all whatsoever. crocoblock is definitely one of those amazing tools that you can add to really spice up your WordPress websites, making them high quality, very, very custom, and honestly a lot more dynamic. And in this tutorial, we're going to be trying to use that dynamic functionality, which is the reason why I chose crocoblock as my, choice of option to make the custom content type. So like I said, I do have a link for you guys if you guys want to check it out for yourself and follow along with this tutorial. Now let's go ahead and finish the setup so we can get back to the tutorial. Now, like I said, you're going to see all of the different plugins or Jet plugins right here. And what you're going to be looking for is this one right here called JetEngine. Mine is going to show up right here because I already have it installed and activated. However, you won't see anything at the top. You will just see a bunch of different plugins right here. You're going to see JetEngine, the one I just showed you at the top. All you have to do is click on install. So the same with all of these, whichever one you're looking to use, you just click on install. Once you click on install, it will pop up here and all you have to do is click on activate, like how we see this one is grayed out. This is because I've already installed it. However, I did not go ahead and activate it yet. So once you have JetEngine, because this is the one you want to focus on, once you have it installed from down here, you just want to click on activate plugin and then you'll see it right here. Now you will see over on the left hand side where our tabs are, we actually see JetEngine right here. So of course, if you don't already have it installed and activated, you won't see it. So you have to install and activate it first, and then it will show up right here. The next thing we need to do is just click on JetEngine right here, because what we're going to be doing in today's tutorial is creating a custom content type. Then it's going to open up the JetEngine dashboard, and right now we're underneath the modules, and this is just saying everything that JetEngine comes with that we're able to use if we want to. So by default, all of these are toggled off, but right here we want to use this one called the custom content types because we want to create this testimonial listing for our testimonials on our website, and we want it to be dynamic. And in order to make it dynamic, we're going to need a custom content type, which is also known as a CCT. If you pay attention over here on the dashboard, you have all of these different tabs. I mean, even right now we're underneath the JetEngine tab. We want to create a similar theme for our testimonials. Let's just go with the blog post, for instance. You see how we have posts right here. This is called a custom post type. So it's a CPT. And if we want to add a new blog post, we can always just scroll down right here to add a new post. And then we can also always view all of our blog posts. However, we want to create something similar for our testimonials. We want to be able to just scroll down here maybe and see testimonials where we're able to view all of our testimonials that's ever been listed on our website, as well as we want to be able to, implement them, like add some more testimonials in on the back end if we so choose to. So in order to do that, we need to add the testimonial tabs right here. And again, how we're going to do that is by going to toggle this custom content type right here. We're just going to go ahead and toggle that on and save the changes. Now, if you are unfamiliar with custom post types and custom content types, you can always click this little eye tool right here to get more information. There is even a video with WP Tuts, a phenomenal other YouTube channel I would highly recommend you guys go look at. However, you guys can get more in-depth information on what a custom content type is. Same with the post types over here. This tutorial is not for that, so we're not going to go over that. However, just make sure you do toggle this on and go ahead and press save. Once you have it saved, you will now see that we have custom content types right here. Before, we did not see that. There was no way we could do that because remember, it was just toggled off. Now that we have it toggled on, we see it right here. So we're going to go ahead and click on custom content type. Because again, we want to make our little testimonials tab over here. We're going to do that by adding a new one. Then it's going to bring you to this page here. And as you see, we have some general settings. I'm going to collapse this very quickly. So you see we have some general settings. We have the field settings, and then we have the admin column settings. We're going to go over all of these, don't worry. But we're going to first start off with the general settings, and we need to go ahead and name this content type. Again, we want it to be testimonials. So name this whatever you want it to say when it's over here. And I misspelled testimonial, so let's spell it correctly. And there we go. And I'm just going to click right here. And as you see, it automatically generated the slug. So you don't have to mess with the slug field. It'll automatically generate it on its own. We're going to scroll down. And we're going to skip this right here, and we're going to use the menu icon because as you see, all of these post types over here, they actually have an icon next to it, and we want the same thing for our testimonials. So for the icon, we're just going to type in a quote. As you see, here is the icon, and that's exactly what we want. Then for the menu position, you can choose where it sits over here on the tab. So I'm just going to keep it on crocoblock section, but as you see, there's plenty of other options you can choose. We're going to go ahead and skip all of this stuff because it's not needed, but if you want to go through it, be my guest. The next thing we need to do is create the fields. Now, this part is going to be extremely crucial because you need to know how you want the card to look. So let's think about this as in a designer's aspect. If I just open up this Figma file, let's zoom in right here to the testimonials right here. You'll see that I've already started designing, or, I use the help of Sprout UI. If you guys are using Figma, it comes out very handy. However, you guys see that this is typically what a testimonial section will look like. And the main thing you can get from all three of these is noticing that they have the feedback option here. So the feedback text. They also have the name of the person, the subheading for the person, and then they have the image. We go to this one here, we see the same thing, the feedback text, the picture, name, and subheading, and the same for this one. This is going to be similar to the one we're going to be building out in this tutorial. So this is going to be super important to go ahead and kind of think about how you want your card, your testimonial card to look. That way, making the field is a lot easier. Now that I know I want my fields to be this, let's zoom in a little bit more. Now that I know I want my fields to be similar to this, I know I need 4 fields. I need a field for this section right here for the actual testimonial. I need a field for the client image, a field for the client name, and a field for the subheading, which can be used for whatever I want it to be used for. So in the field, again, we're going to have 4 of them. The first field, we're going to kick it off with just simple, the client name. That's pretty much it. We're going to scroll down. We're going to make sure that the object field is staying on field and the field type is going to stay on text because we want it to just be simple text. And that's pretty much it. So let's just scroll down and let's add a new field. All right, this field, we're going to label this one and say the client brand. Let's say we want our testimonials to be for our web design services. So we want them to put their name, and then we want them to put their brand name because we want, people to see that we work with real brands. So these are real peoples with real brands. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to keep it on the field, and the field type will stay on text. Let me just go back up because I want to collapse these so we don't have a lot going on. So as you see, we have our first two fields, the client name, client brand. Now we need a new field for the client image. So we're going to just title this client profile. And we're going to scroll down. And this time for the field or the field type right here, we're going to change this to media because now we don't need it to be a text. We want them to upload a image or, we want to have a media file for the profile. Obviously, it's not a text. So we're going to choose media, the value format. We're going to go ahead and choose media ID. And we're going to scroll down and we're going to add another field. The last field we're going to add is going to be the client feedback. So this is going to actually be the big wall of text that they leave as their testimonial. We're going to scroll down, and for the field type this time, we're going to choose a text area because we want it to be a little bit longer than just a simple text. So the difference between the text and the text area is basically the text is a short amount of text. So the text is something that you would use for a name or email. However, for the text area, it's going to be for more so of a big wall of text. Similar to what testimonials are. People write out about 2 to 3 sentences for a testimonial. So we're going to choose the text area for that one. And if we scroll down, another important tip is to make sure that you do choose a character limit. You don't want these testimonials to be overly drawn, in long. You don't want people to write a book for your testimonial. However, you don't want it to be too short. So you want to give them some breathing room to really, gloss all over you when it comes to expressing their feedback. So I'm just going to give it a character limit of, let's just say 500. And that's pretty much it. Now, you can start making things required if you want to, but stick around and subscribe to the channel for my second video because that's where the required toggle will come into play. For this one, we're going to go ahead and keep it simple. We're going to go ahead and collapse this one and collapse this one. And as you see, we now have our 4 fields for our testimonial card. And that is pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and add the content type. And if we were to just scroll down, pay attention to the left-hand side, guess what you see now? You now see our custom CCT right here with testimonials with our little icon that we chose right here. Remember, we chose that quote. There it is right here. Now, if we were to click on this right now, you will see that we currently obviously don't have any testimonials, but that's okay because we're going to go ahead and add some. So if we were to now add a new testimonial, you will see those 4 fields that we just created are right here. Now, before we actually can see this on the front end, we need to actually make a few. So I'm going to go ahead and make some. So the first one will be Maria Hines. I'm going to give her a brand name, a photo, and some client feedback, and I'll be right back. All right, now I've already added it by accident, but as you see, I now have the name, the client brand, the client image, and the client feedback, and I've already added it. So if I were to go back here to back to items list, you will see now I see one of my client reviews. Now, right now, that looks ugly. You can't even tell what the heck you're looking at. We're finna fix that. Let's go ahead and add 2 more reviews first, or 2 more testimonials first, and then we're gonna come back and fix this. So I'm gonna go back to add new. And now I'm going to add my next 2 testimonials. All right, so now you see we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 testimonials already ready on our website. I reached out to my 3 clients. I told them, hey, I would love to have your review or your testimonial of how you experience the, your feedback on the experience of working with me. I want to leave these on my homepage of my website. So if you don't mind writing out, a testimonial, and then I can put this on my homepage. Also, by the way, if you don't mind, send me a photo of you that you don't mind sitting on my website. And then they get back with you. They shoot you an email. They're like, this is my testimonial. Here's the image you can use. And now you go in here and you add it in yourself. This is going to be the first part 1 of the tutorial on the testimonials. So this is going to be for the admins. So now you see them sitting right here. Now, the thing is, you can't really tell who is who and what is what once you come inside of here. That's where we'll go back to the JetEngine custom content types. And that's where the admin columns will come into play. So let's go ahead and open up our testimonial CCT once more. Let's collapse the general settings. Let's collapse the fields, and let's keep this admin column right here open. So right now you see that they're only showing us the item ID, which is just like number 1, 2, and 3. We don't really get too much of information from that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle on the client name. That way I can easily at a glance see what clients did leave the testimonial. And another important one I would think is going to be the client profile. And then we're going to go ahead and update the content type. Now, if I were to go back to testimonials, click it, you will see now I see the client name and the client profile. Now, this is a lot better in terms of seeing testimonials. Now, I remember the people I've worked with. So now I remember, oh, there go Lily Williams. She left me a testimonial. There's her image, yada, yada. And that's pretty much it. So now the next thing is how to get these to show on the front end, because doing that isn't really enough for the testimonials to really just show up on this page. The first thing we need to do is create a page. That way we can have our testimonial sit on, as well as we have to create this item card or testimonials card right here. So let's go and knock out the first thing, which is going to be creating a testimonials page. So obviously the first thing you need to do is go to pages, and we need to add a new page. I'm going to open this up in a new window. For this page, we're just going to call it testimonials. All we're going to do now is go ahead and publish this, and we're going to open it with Elementor. Now, once you create your page, it will open up in the page builder of your choice. For me, I'm going to be using Elementor. Now, the only thing that we need to do for now is go ahead and give it a page banner. This is totally up to you. Again, make your page however you want it to look. I'm just going to add a banner. So all I have is a container right here, and then I have a heading that just says client testimonials. Simple and straightforward, and we're ready to go. The second thing we need to do after we create the page that our testimonials will sit on is to create the listing card. So let's go back to the dashboard. And now this time we're going to go to JetEngine, and we're going to create a listing component. Now, obviously we don't have any components right now, so we have to add a new one. The listing source will come from our custom content type. Remember, because we just created a CCT. So we want to make sure that the source is coming from this. And the content type will be testimonials. And then we're going to go ahead and give it a name. I'm just going to name mine testimonials card. And then, of course, we're going to be using Elementor. So we're going to go ahead and create the listing item. Okay, so once the Elementor opens, the first thing you need to do is go to the page settings or the listing settings. And what we're going to do is change the preview width to 400. That way, when we're making the card, which is what we see right here, we have a realistic view by seeing it in such a small window like this. That's kind of like how we want to see it in real time. So it's now 400, which is perfect. We're going to choose a container that's going in the direction of column. And the first thing we want to do is give this a background color. I'm just going to do this pretty quickly. I just want to show you guys how you can do this. Oh, we're going to go lighter actually. Out right there. And for the border radius, let's just do 20 pixels of border radius and give it a 1 pixel width of a border around it. And let's just choose a dark blue color, somewhat like that. And there we go. It looks very tiny. So let's add some stuff in there first. So let's go to the widgets tab here. And the first thing we're going to do is add in a container. And then I'm just going to duplicate this container right here. Now I'm going to go back to our main container because there's one more thing I want to do. I want to add some space around. So I'm going to do 40 pixels of padding all around the container, which is perfect. That way we go to our main thing. You see we have some space around it, and I actually like that. I want to give everything some breathing room. Now let's start off with our first container right here. So this one is going to hold the image, the testimonial name, and the testimonial brand. We're going to put these three things in the top container, and then the bottom container is going to hold the actual testimonial feedback. So in this container, we're going to start off with this one here. We're going to go ahead and add in a container. I meant to add it there. And then we're going to duplicate it. So now in this first container, because you see we still have our bottom container here. So in this first container, we're just going to change the direction to be a row. That way they sit next to each other. And we're going to go back to the widgets. And the first thing we're going to grab is the dynamic image. And underneath the source, we're going to choose our client profile, because as you see, it's right here underneath our CCT testimonials. We're going to choose the client profile. And as you see, it popped up our last testimonial that we added. It added it right there. So this is how you know it's working dynamically. It's on the back end, but it's pulling in on the front end for the preview. And this is why it's important to actually add testimonials before you do this. That way you can actually see what you're going to be designing in this phase. So in this right container, we're going to add the name. So we're going to also choose a dynamic field here. So let's choose a dynamic field. We're going to drop it right here. And this time we're going to keep it on post as the source, but for the object field, we're going to scroll down until we see content type. And here is all the content type for our testimonials. And the first thing we want is our client name. Remember, this is all the stuff that we made in the back end. We're just going to go ahead and duplicate this because the next thing is going to be similar. It's going to be a dynamic field. The source will be post, but instead of client name, we're going to choose the client brand. And there we go. Now we're going to add another widget. This time we're going to add a text editor widget. This way I can just show you guys how you can add a regular widget. Like for this one, we used the dynamic image. We could have just used the regular image widget. Same with the text right here. We could have just used a heading widget. I'm going to show you guys how to do it if you use regular widgets like we're going to use here for the text editor widget. We're just going to remove the default text and we're going to choose this dynamic tag widget right here or icon, and we're going to scroll down until we see the JetEngine stuff, which is here. Going to choose the custom content type field because we want it to come from our CCT. Remember, we're going to keep every field custom content type. So we're going to choose this one. And then underneath this little wrench, we're going to choose the field of client feedback because remember, this is going to be the big wall of text that a person leaves for their testimonial. And there we go. And we're pretty much onto something. Now, at this point, you already have all the details right here. Now it's just simply up to you to style it how you will want. So some simple things is just going to the image widget and maybe going underneath the style and giving it 100 pixels of, border radius for it to be more rounded. For the text, you might want the heading to be, or not the heading, but the name and the text here, the name and the brand to be closer in proximity, but also you want them to have some sort of hierarchy. So let's just say for the overall container that both of these sit in, let's say we close this gap. Right? We don't want any gap right there. And for the name, we want the typography to be maybe a bit bolder. So let's go with semi-bold and let's change the font size to maybe 1.3 round. And we're good to go. We can also do stuff like changing the color. So we can use our like blue color like this. As you guys see, it's totally up to you when it comes to the styling options. And again, for this one, the same thing. You can go to the text here, you can go to the style, and let's just make this a bit darker as our text color, something like that. And also while we're at it, to be a little bit more realistic, let's make this image, the container that the image will be in, let's make this about 20, no, let's go with 40 or 40% of space here. And let's remove the padding. And let's also go to this one and also remove the padding. And there we go. We can also go to the main thing and remove the padding there. Perfect. Go to this one, remove the padding. Perfect. And there we go. I'm going to go to this main container. Let's open up the navigator. Let's go to our top container here. Let's go to the layout and let's just center align everything. That way they're in alignment with each other in the center. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Now you just got to go ahead and publish this. Now you have your little testimonials card right here. Now it's time to actually put this on the testimonials page that we created earlier. So right underneath on back on our client testimonial page, now what we need to do is add another container underneath here. And let's start off by giving it some padding. So let's just do 80 all around, but we're going to change the left and the right to have 20 padding on the left and the right. And what we want to do is go to the widgets. We're going to choose listing grid. We're going to choose this one right here because remember, this was a listum item for the testimonial card. Now we need a listing grid to showcase all of the listing cards. So we're going to pull in this. And if you guys are familiar with Elementor's loop item and loop grid, this is pretty much the similar route that you would take for using crocoblock. So now we need to choose our listing. So we're just going to type in testimonial. And as you see, there's our testimonials card right there. And as you see, it pops up right there. And because we already did 3 testimonials, you see all 3 of our testimonials are right here, taking the same exact style that we created on the back end with the listing item. Now, with the listing grid, there's a lot of other options that you can do right over here. So let's just say you only wanted to show maybe 2 at a time. You can do that. But typically you would choose 3. That's the normal route that people normally take. You have some other options where you're able to make them masonry grids. So let's just say you already have about 10 testimonials. You can do that. And you can also load more. So basically, there's a ton of different things you can do in terms of making this whole entire testimonials page look exactly how you want. But in the gist, that's how you will create the testimonials card, by creating a listing item first, and then you pull in the listing grid on the page you want it to sit on. Now we're going to go ahead and publish this. And now if we were to view our testimonials page, now you see we have our testimonials right here. Now, obviously, we see this is a bit short. So what I would do is go back to our listing grid, and where it says equal column height, we're just going to go ahead and toggle that on. And as you see, now they're all the same height, which is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and publish that. And our page will refresh. And if I scroll down, and now they're all equal height, which is exactly what I want. So again, you can get completely custom with this and do whatever your heart desires. In the same way how we just added this listing grid for our testimonials on the overall page, you can do this on a section on a page as well. So just imagine this page has so many other sections. Maybe it was the home page and yada yada. All you have to do is create a new section on your home page, and then go to the widgets tab, type in listing grid, similar to what we just did, drop it in and choose your listing grid. Once you do it, you will see it right here. You even have the option, let me just open up this listing grid. You even have the option, if we just close the general tab down, you can actually enable slider if you want to make this a slider. So for instance, on your home page, you might want it to be a slider. You can also enable that as well. Now that was pretty much it for this tutorial. I just wanted to show you guys how you can get pretty custom when it comes to adding testimonials to your website. Now, if you guys want the second half of this tutorial where I show you guys how to create this, where it's on the front end of your website, where your clients can go to your website, a specific page on your website, they can fill out a form with all of their details like their name, they can upload an image, they can write a subheading or a brand name, and they can even go ahead and put in their own testimonials for you. And all you have to do as the admin is approve of it, and it will pop up on your testimonials page. If you guys want to see that tutorial, then be sure you guys stick around because that one will be next. That's all I have for today's tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next one.